Welcome to the Furious Focus. This is your host, Golden Zermac. I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Dylan Horsch. How are you doing this morning, Dylan?
Doing great. It's good to see
Awes-
you, buddy.
Yeah, you too. It's been a minute. It's great to see you, and we'll talk a little bit about what all you got going on. But like I said before, I'm super proud of you on that front.
Well, thanks, man.
Absolutely. I've known Dylan for a while. We met through the whole book cover modeling thing. He wasn't modeling at the time. I recall taking, I don't even remember how I first saw your picture, but I remember looking online and I was like, I got to work with this guy. And you were working at a nutrition store at the time. And it took like 8 months, almost like a year to convince you to do anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, we've known each other for, I would have been 23, so at least 11 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much time
So
flew by.
it's been a long time.
Well, for those that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your growing up and how you got to where you're at today?
Yeah, so and kind of like you were saying too, I was working in a nutrition store at the time. I used to do bodybuilding shows. I've always actually wondered how you did find my initial photos, but I remember the first time you reached out to me, I was kind of in a spot where like I still thought I was really going to do bodybuilding, but I wasn't sure if I kind of wanted to do any modeling or anything. And then through persistence, was able to get me to come down there. And I remember when you first messaged me and responded being like, "Oh yeah, this sounds like something interesting, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to take that plunge."
Right.
And then it was like almost exactly to the T. There's some changes that happened in my life, getting out of a relationship that I was in at the time, and you were just right on it. You knew right when to send me the message to be like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this?" So yeah,
Oh,
and
this is
kind of led
great.
us down that path. Before that, I mean, at 23, I don't think you really have the biggest understanding of what you're doing in your life. So it's kind of just working as hard as I could, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
Um,
I remember it might have been one of the authors that sent me a picture. I'm trying to rack my brain. It's like I didn't stalk you, I promise. It was somehow you just came onto my radar. But I'm glad you did because you've grown so much. Like you said, you were 23 at the time when we met. Shit, that long. I was probably running around 30. Well, you're 33 now, right? 34,
34.
34. I turned 47 in January. I'm not looking forward to that. But that's a whole other discussion. But I remember meeting you and it was like you had your head on your shoulders then, but like you said, you don't really know what you're going to do ultimately long term like when you're 23. You're really probably just trying to earn a paycheck to pay bills at the time. More than
Right.
anything
Make sure that
else.
you don't spend your rent money.
Exactly, which is probably a tough thing to do with all the temptations and things out there. What kind of pushed you in that fitness bodybuilding direction initially? You kind of pivoted away now, but what started you off down that path?
Younger me was always a little bit more on the light side. So I think I graduated high school weighing about like roughly 135 pounds. I tried lifting as much as I could up through those points, and it just seemed like it never really stuck. So like it just had to be that full dive. I just always wanted to have the physique that I thought I could achieve.
Uh huh.
Just a lot of like hard work, perseverance with that. That's also what kind of got me into the supplements because it was like, okay, I'm clearly missing something. There's some kind of key here
Mm-hmm.
that I've not turned to unlock what I want to achieve. So I kind of figured out, okay, supplementation really helps with that a lot too. That's how I even got into the supplement industry in the first place.
I remember you used to do regional management or something. You used to store, right, and help do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I started in Wichita and then I lived all over Texas, Missouri. I went up to Nebraska one time. Where else did I go? I went in obviously then Huntsville because I was down there. And
Well,
it
for
was
a
crazy
while.
was I had already met you and then they still sent me to that store. It's like, wow, that's right down the street.
Yeah, that kind of made everything possible. It was great. It kind of worked out. So back then, when you were doing fitness, obviously getting the physique you wanted was your goal, and getting progress and gains was the goal. But how do you define fulfillment now versus then?
So I'd say the biggest thing is just trying to find like a happy maintenance with all of it. It's a lot easier to maintain a natural physique where your body wants to more naturally rest and rely in
Hmm.
versus really feeding yourself. When you do bodybuilding, I would eat 6 times a day
Yeah,
and every meal is so calculated.
right.
And I can still find a happy medium with that and maintain muscle size, but you look a little less like Superman, but you still can find a way to have a good fitness routine and good physique.
Right. And I think that's important too. Everybody's so driven when they're younger to get that physique and get looking like the dudes in the mags and on stage and all that stuff. And it's achievable, it's doable, but it does consume your entire being. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
You kind of lose out a little bit along the way with regards to some personal relationships, family, and things like that. For yourself, did that happen with you, or did you have support from other places?
Yes and no. You don't push people away, but you just don't have the time to make for other people when you're doing those things. So it was just go to work, work out. Luckily enough, when I was doing the shows, I was still living in Wichita, so I could still see my family fairly regularly. And they were at least understanding. We went out to eat, and it was like, I'm bringing my own food. I'm not going to eat what you guys are going to eat. Birthdays, don't expect me to have any cake or anything. That's just not how this
Right.
works anymore. But yeah, no, you find ways to, I guess, be creative with it to spend time with people because, even at the time too, I just remember always thinking about the gym. The next thing was, when am I going back to the gym? And
Right.
nobody wants to talk about going to the gym as much as you want to go,
Right.
especially when
Right.
that's not in the wheelhouse of things. So
I can't relate
yeah,
to
you
that at
find.
all. I don't. Yeah, exactly. Thinking back then, when we did link up finally and did the first shoot, you had shot before though. That might have been where I saw the pictures of you. You might have done a shoot beforehand.
Yeah, so just through friends of friends, there was a guy that actually owned a fitness apparel line, and he had me do some photo shoots for that. And just kind of randomly, people would reach out and ask. So I didn't really think much of it, and I thought that it would be something that could help me advertise if I was going to find a company to jump on with or anything like that.
Right.
So, which that's a whole nother ballpark of things, especially now with how social media is.
Oh gosh, social media has definitely changed. I mean, getting the sponsorship back then and to a point now was like the gold star. Everybody wanted it because shit was expensive, and
Yeah.
you wanted to get covered, your meals covered somehow, your supplements and all that other stuff. But yeah, it was a real driver for a lot of people back then. I remember us doing the shoot. You were really good at it. It came naturally to you, but it's probably because you.
Well, I had good direction, so
Oh,
that made a difference too.
you flatter me. I should just push a button. I really do. But no, you came in dialed in. I think we did 6 shoots eventually. And you have come in different, like a different appearance every shoot. And I got to give you kudos because a lot of people don't do that and they kind of overexpose themselves with one look. But no, Dylan changes his appearance drastically between
Yeah,
sessions.
you gotta have some fun with it.
Well, you really do. And you know what's funny is they all suited you. Sometimes people do their hair and it's like, that's not really what they really like. They're just doing it for the shoot. But you like lived the looks that you were bringing. So
Yeah.
that was a good thing.
Well, and I feel like it's the same as if you were going to do movie roles. You're going to change things up.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I kind of Christian Bale it a little bit and go a little all over the place with it.
Well,
But
you definitely did. You came in different body sizes for sure. When you were doing shoots, did doing those instill a level of confidence in you that you didn't have before, or did it just help reinforce levels of confidence that you already had in yourself?
a little of both. But I think I had the confidence there. But it gave me that feeling of like, okay, I've accomplished this. This is not just in your head that you think that you are this.
Hmm.
There's no reason that someone asked you to take these types of photos and to be on a book cover if you didn't fill that role. So
Right.
I think it definitely added some nice reassurance. I think we all go through that imposter syndrome at some point in our life where we're like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that I'm this. I think that I have a good physique, but is that truly it? And that's kind of that nice reassurance that it is.
It's definitely a reminder, a little voice in the back of my head constantly. And I think it does keep people humble, which is great. Well, some people, most people, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people take it to the extreme, but they're kind of like narcissistic to begin with. I think it just feeds that and brings out the worst of them. But I think a lot of times people do get boosts in that. I think a lot of people have told me that they never viewed themselves through a different lens other than the same selfies that they took for years. So it was awkward at first, but reassuring after they saw themselves in a different light and a different angle finally.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, I got to work on my back or I got to do something else with my hamstrings. But, that's the dysmorphia of talking.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll never stop.
Oh, no, no, nobody told me that before I started all this stuff. It was like, no, that'll be just a forever thing.
I don't know if you could quote whoever it's specifically by, but it's the first day you started lifting is the first day you're forever small.
And it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
When you were doing photo shoots, you're putting on a role. Were there any shifts as you were doing it to where that became more your identity versus just a role that you're putting on for the camera?
I think if anything, it brought out more parts of me that like I wanted to expose to the world. I've always had the same similar passions, whether it be through lifting or, riding motorcycles. And I think for a long time, I just felt like, especially with like a work balance, they want you to be in this realm of clean shaven or not so many exposed tattoos. So it also helped me give myself that confidence in those situations to say, okay, I can be this person that I feel like I am.
Yeah. A lot of people do tend to shy away from their real selves, especially with social media. They tend to try to hide behind a persona and try to hide the different aspects of themselves. To a degree, that's good, it's protective, but to another degree, if you adopt that as who you are, like it's not really who you are. So you're adjusting the camera there. It just reminded me. I normally wear a tank top during these. It shows off all my tattoos. Dylan has a lot of tattoos, y'all. You can't tell.
Yeah, it gets a little hidden under the beard there, and
Exactly. Yeah, I got the neck tattoo crew over here. He's had a lot of work done. When you've done these shoots and go to book signings, what does it feel like to be recognized and admired by a lot of people that you don't normally do? Like if you were working in a nutrition store, you might get a regular customer coming in every now and then.
yeah,
Hey Dylan, how you doing? I'm here to pick up my creatine. But when you're at the signing, it's a totally different experience.
absolutely. And it never didn't take me off guard a little bit, just because I always enjoy being around people, and to have someone come up and show excitement in anything that I tried to always read as much as I could of a lot of the books too. So when they're excited to talk about the book, it's a good feeling for me as well.
Mm.
I love interacting with people on that. I try to match people's energy and bring as much excitement into the world as they do. So it's still always a good feeling. There's random people I've ran into even here in Kansas City that still have known book covers that I've been on.
That's
I went
awesome.
to the APP conference 2 years ago, and one of the jewelry makers that was there happened to actually recognize me from that, not from the piercing side.
Oh
She
wow,
didn't know
that had
that
to
I
be
had a
a,
shop,
a
but
clash of worlds there.
yeah, I was not expecting that when I was there. But
I know because you do tend to zone out and get into your vibe, like a signing. I put myself out there. You got to be on all the time, and then at an event like you do
yeah,
with the tattoos and piercings, it's probably different as well.
yeah, it'll never lose that, not shock value, but in a way, I know it's just a good feeling.
We talked about social media. There is a big pressure to like be viral and be extra online. What do you do for yourself to stay grounded other than avoid social media altogether, which is an answer in itself, to avoid the pressure of succumbing to that? Because a lot of people do find themselves needing to be validated online.
Yeah, and I think that's why I pulled back a lot from social media. I could feel the shift of it, just feeling like you had to put every bit of yourself into it.
Hmm.
And a lot of times not even being yourself, it's just the constant clicks and views and viral, like you're saying. So I think that's what kind of started to pull me back from a lot of that,
Hmm.
is that started to feel less like me when it was just to do things. I like to always try to at least do things with intention. Sometimes it may not have all of the intention, but at least if it has some, I
Right.
can still connect with that. But I guess more than anything, it yeah, I kind of just avoid it. I still will keep some things online, and it feels weird if I don't check in so often with social media,
Right.
but I do prefer to be more on the side of just viewing it and not so much creating it.
I agree. And even for me, running a business through social media, it's tough now, especially to actually stay on for any prolonged period of time. I'll get on there, I'll do a little rant post, and then I'll leave. But all my like business stuff is pre-scheduled. I'll do a mass edit of photos and I'll pre-schedule that, have it pop out on Instagram and Facebook. So I don't even have to open it and look anymore, which is a shame because
Yeah.
I remember, back in well, when the quote good days, back in 2013 to 15 on there, it was like rocking and rolling and everything was just, I don't know, it was way more straightforward than it is now and a lot less pressure. Things organically blew up. It's how I grew my business at the time. But unfortunately, a lot of businesses don't have that luxury anymore relative to growing a following or a client base online without having to do all that stuff.
Yeah, or through paywalls. I feel like even some of the stuff with my business and advertising on there, I mean, obviously they're trying to keep their business going and generate revenues, and probably have a whole boardroom full of people that are asking how they can make more money. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just much different than for like my personal Instagram where it had grown, it was all organic. I never had to pay anybody. I didn't really even do, I know how like some people would do like the post for post or whatever. I can't
Yeah.
remember what they called it now, but all post you if you post me. I really didn't even have to do a whole lot of that. It just was pretty organic and people just liked the photos. I mean, I think a big part of that is you took really good photos of me,
Oh,
so that made that easy.
well, and it was a
Um,
different world, though. It really was. But I
yeah,
I remember when I first started gaining the first, it sounds crazy, it sounds arrogant, but the first million people on Facebook at the time, it just blew up because people just saw it, liked it, and shared it. And that's what made it grow. It wasn't, oh, I had to pay for advertising $5 a day or whatever the
you
budget
know,
is to make sure I reach 400 people. It was just a lot different back then. I can't even run
yeah,
advertising anymore now anyway because the content of my photos keeps
yeah.
violating standards apparently. But it's yeah, I wish I knew. I can't even contest them anymore. They're just like no, no, we're good.
Yeah. They're like, whatever you say, it doesn't matter. We're not going to listen.
Exactly. Exactly. Even the copyright infringement reports that I used to be able to do, real easy. The form is broken. And I think it's tied to what you said. They like their money, their revenue. And if anybody's paying, even if it's a scammer using somebody else's stuff, if they're paying the 5 figures a month, they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't see nothing. It's like, I really do believe that because I can't get them to take shit down to save my life nowadays.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Especially, I don't know. We're gonna probably jump into this in a little bit too with the AI. It's wild, and
Oh, God.
even just from getting on like my personal page, which I try not to get on very often.
Mhm.
You'll see stuff that people are reposting that's clearly AI, and they're just fooled by it. They have no idea,
Oh,
and
yeah.
to me, it's almost black and white. I can see exactly when it's AI. I know you can see the way that it moves, the way that it writes, the way that it even looks in photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still just gets people left and right.
It still floors me. We'll talk a little more about that. But I used to think, oh, it's just bots sharing these things. But I have so many friends online that are sharing the same things. And I'm like trying to educate people and bang my head against the wall because you're falling for it. And then they're complaining they get scammed. Oh, I bought a sweater and it's horrible. It doesn't look anything like the video because it's not real. It's literally, it's
They
not
never
real.
had that product.
They never did. I had somebody order those Christmas ornaments. No, it was a lamp, the little stained glass lamps that were animals. And they're like, "Oh my god, these are so cute." Da, 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 da. They ordered one. It was a printout of a picture of the lamp, and it was like that's why it was $14 because you had to pay for shipping that paper to you. It's like crazy. You went from doing the modeling and now owning your own business. What was the shift? Was the body art element always there for you as a career want?
Yeah, obviously being around the shops, getting to know some of the artists that I had. I think I always did have like a pretty strong interest in it, but also it kind of found me at a time where I was starting to explore a lot more options. The company I worked for doesn't really exist anymore, and at the time it was already starting to dissolve. It happens with a lot of businesses; they make decisions that don't work out, and
Yep.
so there's just natural procedure that follows that, which is they don't exist any longer.
Yeah.
I was at a point where I had already branched out and did the modeling, which was something that I didn't really think was gonna be like I always felt like I could do it, but I never felt like it was gonna be possible. So with that, it gave me a little bit more freedom, but also more of the ability to say, okay, I can go out and do this and track this down and make it work for me. So that's what really kind of bridged me into doing the body art as well.
So tell us about Golden Buffalo Body Arts. Where did the
Yeah.
name come from? How did the concept come about? Was it something always in the back of your mind that you wanted to do?
The name, it took a while to come to me because I tried to bounce around with a bunch of different names. And then you look through and see, okay, what's taken? Can I actually use this name? I don't want to violate somebody else's copyright or steal somebody's name.
Right.
And I wanted something that was just associated with me. So, being that obviously I'm obsessed with gold, it's part of the whole body piercing thing.
Yeah.
And then with like Kansas, the stand animal is the buffalo. It's steadfast, it's strong, it stands the test of time. And that was
Yeah.
what really to me stood out. I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like that's the embodiment of what this brand is, that it's going to continue to stick around no matter what comes its way.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the owner, right? Was it legit?
Yeah, exactly.
It was good to see because I saw you posted this the other day online about opening up, and I was like, man, he finally did it. Because I know you had mentioned to me times past about potentially doing something like that or having that as a dream to do eventually. So it's great to see that you actually achieved it.
Yeah. Well, and it's always great to not have to work for somebody else.
Scary too
With my
at
industry,
times, though.
it's yeah, oh for sure, because then it's all on you.
It's
There's
all
no
you. Yep.
But it's great to be out on your own and to do business the way that you want to do it, because not everyone always has that same mentality that you have. And I'm sure even for you and for anyone that's gonna ever see this, we've all had that experience of going into a tattoo shop where someone's not the nicest and it clearly just seems like a cash grab. And that's a big driver for me too, is I don't want anyone to ever feel like that when they come to my shop. And that is specifically our first and founding rule right there, is that everyone's going to get treated so well when they come in here, because this is something they want. And so we're here to just help facilitate that and make their dreams a reality just as much as we want to make our dreams a reality.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that because I was actually talking to my tattoo artist the last time I was in there. We were talking about this very thing where a lot of tattoo artists, and I would imagine piercers too, you get to where the client wants something, but then they're convinced to get something else because that's what the artist wants to do instead of the client. So it's nice to hear that there's a shop out there that can help facilitate what the client wants. Obviously, there's going to be some compromise as you go because some people have some wild ideas that just aren't
Yeah.
feasible or possible. But it's nice to know that there's artists out there that are willing to work towards achieving that with somebody and getting what they want in the end.
Yeah. I mean, because realistically, at the end of the day, I don't have a job unless people come in and see me. And so I know that there's sometimes the mentality that people have that it's like, well, I've earned this and I've done this. But, if you're not kind to people, it's never going to put you in a good space.
Right. And people remember the kindness, and that's what brings them back and gets you referrals and word of mouth and everything else.
Yep.
And that's the goal, right? Especially when you're on your own. It's like
Oh,
that. We
yeah.
need more of that, please. So is that what you like doing best with your job now, working hands-on with people to help achieve that? People watching may think that, oh, a piercer just takes a needle and jabs it in something and then they're done. But there's a lot more to that involved with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does start with the hands-on aspect, helping people pick jewelry when they come in. And as much as it would be great to just believe that you could just throw a needle through somebody, that is not how that process works.
Right.
And anyone that's in this industry will tell you it's the most rewarding and most stressful thing you can think about, because every angle matters.
Well, I can
Um,
imagine.
and it doesn't just drop right through there. You gotta know what you're doing without boring everybody to death about bevel theory and needle control and things like that. You don't just point and go, right?
Right.
It's about making sure that you know people's anatomy, how things are going to fit, and helping them curate again their idea as well too, to make it everything they would want it to be. And talking somebody through the process as well, I guess. I didn't think about that, but most people will come in fairly confident, but it's always a little bit nerve-wracking on these things. So being able to give somebody the confidence themselves to get through it as well.
Right. And I would imagine that varies, not to go too much detail, but varies by body part too, right? The
Yeah.
confidence level and the fear factor that people might have going in.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I couldn't imagine, but I could, because I've thought about getting other things pierced, but then I'm like, no, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Has there been anything that this side of your life has taught you that the modeling and earlier couldn't have ever done?
I think there's probably some lessons that have happened along the years and some I may have forgotten over time.
Hmm.
And maybe some of it is just reinstilling that in myself, that I could do whatever I wanted to do. Not that you lose sight of those things, but obviously sometimes life kind of gets in the way and it makes you question your abilities. And when you really harness things again, is also reinstilling that you control the path that you can put yourself on. And the more that you want something, the more that you actively put yourself towards it, you're going to get it.
Absolutely. I have that same mindset too. You do have moments that make you question yourself, but I think you come out for the better in the end if you are challenged along the way, else you kind of get complacent and you might end up making more mistakes along the way if you're not tested from time to time. Now, the test can come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. I tell you what, life sometimes just throws up at you, And 2025
When
for
you
me
think
has
you've
been
got
the
it all
throw up.
figured out.
Yeah, I know. So we mentioned AI earlier, encroaching on everything. You're kind of in a field where hands-on is still a requirement. Obviously, you're insulated in that regard. But being a creative person, what's your viewpoint on this prevalence of technology that some view as beneficial, but others view it as taking the soul out of everything it touches?
And I can tell you right off, not the biggest fan of AI. I think it definitely is pulling the soul out of a lot of things, like you just said. It's not so prevalent on the piercing side, other than people might use it to maybe edit photos, things like that. Which again, that's a pretty simple skill to either learn or pay someone to do. And I really think that there's a whole reason that people went to school for this, more than anything where it's affected my industry is there's tattoo artists that I find that are actively using it to make their drawings,
Mm,
which to me, I don't understand how that could be part of the job. The whole reason people pay what they pay for tattoos is because the art is that person's.
right.
Otherwise, it's just a skill trade.
Hmm.
It's pretty disheartening to see when you catch
Yeah.
people using it. But again, with the way the AI moves, you'll start noticing it more and more, and you can see which tattoos are drawn with AI and which ones weren't.
I actually was online the other day and was it YouTube? I don't remember. I was editing photo. It was YouTube. And I have random stuff pop up on my other screen for background noise. And it got off on the AI thing. And they were actually highlighting AI in the tattoo industry. But there were some artists out there that are using AI to modify their clients' photos after they submit them back to them after they're healed, which I thought is
Interesting.
crazy. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? That's literally not your work at the end of the day, then. To me, it's just
Yeah.
fraud, but people are scared to say that nowadays because of falsely accusing somebody of it. But if you're actively doing something like that, I don't think it's that many to call you, a grifter.
Well, and on top of that too, if that's what you see, they're advertising for their art, and you think you're going to get that piece, and it doesn't come out looking like that. I mean, that's the biggest thing right there. Is you better be able to. It's one thing if you could replicate that work, but every time that I've ever seen that someone uses it, they can't replicate that work. So
Right.
you're false advertising.
It's like the Rita, I'll put it on the screen. The Jesus painting that they restored, the famous one where the lady like totally botched the face because they thought she could restore Jesus, and it was just a
Yep.
circle with like this blobby face on it in the end. It's like
Yep.
you better have the skills to back up advertising you're giving. We even have restaurants here that are like support small businesses and they can't even hire a designer or a photographer to take pictures of their food. So they put AI generated food on the flyers that they're running ads on. And I'm okay, so this is not even the food you're serving. And you couldn't support anybody.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's I could go. I need to do a full podcast on this because it's like that's my ranty thing that I always go online about. But it really has affected my business and having my fingers in like 5 different pots. Every single one has just been devastated. It's actually reached the point of really contemplating viability of staying open. But I'm just going to persevere. That's the kind of person I am. But it's a challenge because of that. And I'm sure more
Yeah.
industries and more people, especially as this goes on with the job market going the way it is now, too, that people are going to start questioning what do we do now? What's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna automate a lot of things, I'm sure, but hey, at what cost,
Hmm.
I don't think it's actually in the greater good to have it do so much automation. And at the end of the day, I think it needs the personal touch. That's part of what makes everything feel real
Hmm.
and not the uncanny valley. There
No.
is people there working and doing things, and that's how life is supposed to be. I don't know. I feel like I've seen enough movies that it's like here's a
Bro,
trajectory, and it's kind of showing that it's going right along those lines. And everyone's just like, nah, it's fine.
man, I have to send you this video I saw the other day. I'm in all these AI and robotics groups because I preach about being anti AI all the time. So I want to see what's going on. And bro, these robots that they're doing, some of them, it's like literally iRobot stuff. And this video, this promo video from this company, and I'm like, good lord, these tech companies, it's like, oh, there's a book out that says don't do this. I think we're coming up with an app to do this next month. Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to
It-
use AI to take the script of the book and then put it into a actual like manual on how to do it.
right? Yeah, just spit it out and let us know so we can make billions on it and everybody else suffer. Oh, it's crazy. But I'll find it. I'll send it to you because it's wild, man. It's sci-fi stuff that it's super surreal to actually be talking about. So, do you think our human artistry will persevere and be able to weather the storm?
Yeah, I think there'll be a shift where there's going to be people that have no shame and just use it, and then there'll still be some that stick by this is how we do art, this is how we do tattoos, this is how this is supposed to be done. I think that veil is already kind of thin, and there's again, this artist that I've personally seen using it, and that's really disheartening that you would do that. But I think that Bale's going to get to where they're just not going to have any shame in it anymore, and they'll say, "Well, we use AI to do these tattoos here, so this is just how this works, and
Hmm.
whatever," and they'll just have no shame anymore.
Yeah. And ultimately, I guess that's my biggest beef with a lot of the AI users now is they don't let people know that they're using it. So it is kind of fraudulent because you're kind of falsely advertising your services. Some designers do that, some authors are doing that. And if you were just honest and said, hey, this is written by or supported by AI, so the person can make a choice, like me as a consumer, I can make a choice, then I wouldn't be as batshit crazy over it than if you just didn't lie to me up front and say, oh, well, it's me. I wrote that. And then you didn't. Or it's me. I
Yeah.
designed this tattoo for you. And no, you didn't. You typed it into a prompt and it spat it out. So I think that's my biggest beef. And that's what I think keeps me going is just marketing myself as that brand that doesn't utilize it in those capacities. And so you're maintaining the human element. And so does it become boutique and niche? Maybe, because everything else will be run by that, which is fine. And I guess people can expect to pay more. But ultimately, though, my biggest fear is that everybody eventually is able to do whatever they want to themselves. And so they don't have a need for anything else.
Yeah.
But it's a catch-22, though, isn't it? Because then who buys your shit to fund the
Yeah.
economy? I don't know where it goes ultimately. Nobody will answer that to me. Nobody will debate me on it either because I'm trying to find out, but nobody wants to do it.
Yeah. They probably don't really have a good answer, and they won't be able to answer it.
I found that the answers I get are very, very short term. It's like, oh, within the next month, I'm making so much. It's like they don't want to look any past that. Well, shifting gears, now that you are doing your own business, what matters to you most these days? And I know you've recently gotten married. So your priorities have shifted dramatically since I've known you.
Well, obviously, growing the business, and I think more than anything, just being able to spend time at home and enjoy life in a way that is just comfortable. I've got obviously Bella, and life's pretty great. It's already been since May, so we're not quite to a year yet, but we're getting there.
Man, time flies, I tell you.
And we got our little pup. His name's Charlie. He's a little
Oh,
goober.
cool.
I think I've got at least a couple pictures of him on social media. He's a meatball for sure.
Oh, God. That's
But no,
great.
just being home and getting to enjoy life. I feel like when I was younger, I put so much emphasis on working that I never really sat down to like, okay, well, we have this home. Like, why am I not spending time in it and enjoying it? So I think that's my biggest priority. And obviously, still like in the gym, it's never going to go away. Again, it's changed a little bit on what our goals are at the gym. A little bit more maintenance instead of the push to get bigger and stronger always.
I know. I
Um,
just came off that kick too. It's like I've been doing that for a year and now I'm like done. Done.
yeah, just getting to find joy in life. And I feel like that's really what everyone wants, but find it in different forms than just what I initially had thought in life. I thought it would always just be lifting weights and riding motorcycles, doing wild stuff. And it isn't always that.
That's great to hear because, it is a common story that a lot of people do find that balance that they didn't have before. And I think it's important, especially for men, to find a balance in that is so critical and important to me. Because a lot of times we do have that stereotypical thing of we have to work, we have to go out there, we have to do all this. And it's such a driver that we really lose ourselves in that sometimes. So it's nice to find that balance and actually, like you said, be at home and be able to enjoy it for a while. And you're only 34, which is great to find that out so early because a lot of people don't find that out till they're at retirement age and they don't get as much
Yeah.
time to enjoy it.
I was trying to just get a head start on things,
Yeah, just like buffaloes. It's a great mentality to have for real, for real. God, so proud of you, bro. I really am.
Well, thank you.
So where can people find you online? Obviously, your business has a website.
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, Facebook, those are Golden Buffalo Body Arts. Don't have a Twitter. Don't think I'll ever probably get a Twitter. There's just, oh, I guess it's X now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never had a
I keep
forehand,
calling
and I
it
don't
Twitter
think I
too.
know. I haven't dove into the TikTok thing. I feel like I'm too old for it.
Bro, I did it
Um,
for a minute and again, they took my shit down. You have these viral things where people are getting nudie and under red lights, and that's fine. But hey, post a picture of a dude and some cheese. No.
muscular.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, I'm done with this platform. Screw it. Everybody else going viral, and I'm doing jack shit.
But yeah, websites goldenbuffalobodyarts.com. And I do have my personal one up there. It's just all Dylan Horsch still. Um, I don't post on there as often, but every once in a while I drop a little something, let people know
Every
I'm still
now and then
here.
he's there, and it's like, oh my God. Have you followed in the little favorited thing just because you're not on there at all? So I
Yep,
get
just
like the
gotta drop
immediate
the.
notice. I'm like, oh, he posted. I'll put all that up on the screen so people can find you easily and can go click and follow you there. And if they're local to you in Mission, Kansas,
So I live in Mission. The shop is in Overland Park,
gotcha.
which it's so close. I mean, it's a 15-minute drive. It sounds like it's crazy because of different cities, but Kansas City, everything's so tight
Yeah.
that
Oh, I remember from being there. Yeah, it's
yeah, it's you're in a new city if you drive every 5 minutes. So
yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get some other business there too. That's great. And if people are looking for anybody in the area, I'll be sure to recommend you guys.
I appreciate that, man.
No problem at all. Well, thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you coming on board today for the show. This was the Furious Focus, where we talk about creativity, culture, and the chaos in between. Be sure to check in next time and stay furious out there, everyone.